All right, when I woke up this morning, I wasn't expecting to see a whole bunch out there in the 49ers ethos about, you know, anything headline worthy. But I was wrong. Milwaukee ESPN had a radio host that appears to be a former Packer player go onto their airwaves and condone and actually call for a cheap hit on Brock Purdy that would essentially knock him out of the game. This is just crazy behavior. Now, we understand the old school mentality that might have actually been something they used to do, but with the whole Bounty Gate situation and all of that, that's just not typical behavior that we see anymore. And especially, you don't really see a lot of players going out maliciously trying to hurt other players. So this is wild. I'm going to let you listen to the soundbite. Let's react to it on the other side. Listen to this Milwaukee radio guest or host talking about how the Packers should absolutely go take a cheap shot on Brock Purdy, try to knock him out of the game.
I go back, and it's little things like this. And the reason we won in 95 when no one gave us a chance in San Francisco is because we intimidated them. I mean, and I always revert to Wayne Simmons. Wayne Simmons kicked the crap out of Brent Jones. And then it got contagious, and then it carried over. That's why, you guys are going to think I'm crazy.
Well, we already think that, so go ahead.
A 15-yard penalty, and I don't condone this, but I kind of do in the playoffs. A 15-yard penalty for a late hit on Brock Purdy is not a bad thing, as long as it's worth it. I'm just saying. This is the mindset you go into when it's battle, and it's kind of like the reverse of hockey. What don't they do in hockey in the playoffs, Joshy?
Shave their beards?
That and one other thing.
They don't fight.
They don't fight.
Correct.
They don't fight, right? This is kind of like sometimes a 15-yard penalty is worth it early in the game if you knock the living crap out of the guy. And then he kind of like sticking your helmet in the ribs of Nick Bosa is like, but that I'm hearing go.
Now, again, as I mentioned, this league understands that you earn a paycheck, you earn your legacy by being healthy, by being available. The best ability is availability. And with that thought process, obviously, if you were to knock Brock Purdy out of the game, it would absolutely hurt the 49ers' chances from winning that football game. So from an old school mentality, sure. But to go on a nationally syndicated radio show and to call for the Packers to go out and deliver a cheap shot, one that Brock Purdy would really feel, it would be worth the 15-yard penalty. It would be worth any penalty that was given up to try to knock Brock Purdy out of the game. There's a couple things here. One, in a backhanded way, it's kind of like a compliment to Brock Purdy. It's kind of like, man, they're so worried about you quarterbacking this 49ers offense that they are willing to go out, maybe take a fine, take a penalty, whatever comes along with it, to be able to knock you out of the game, knock you off your game, to give them a chance to win this. That to me screams like insecurity. But again, there's multiple other things. It's just the simple fact of calling for an injury. It's wild, man. It's absolutely wild. I keep, I'm a fan. We talk about the 49ers. I'm of the mindset of I want your best and I want to beat you at your best. Not I'm going to try to take out everyone's knees on this team so we can somehow get a victory. That to me feels just like a loser mentality. Like you should want to be able to play a team at their best and take them down at their best. Like not like, oh, let's injure this guy. Let's take him out of the game and make sure that we potentially injure him not only for this game but for the future. And especially with Brock Purdy's injury history, the UCL, like that's crazy behavior. And maybe that's what's sparking it. Maybe he did see the Eagles NFC Championship game and he saw how impactful Brock Purdy was to the 49ers' success, and him getting injured changed the entire complexion of that game. And the Eagles ultimately won it as a result. So maybe that's what he's thinking. Maybe we can get Brock hurt and maybe we get a chance at this thing. But Absolutely crazy behavior, man. Like, especially from a guy who probably played this game. Again, I'm not really sure who this guy is. By the way he's discussing it, he's a former player for the Packers, and talking about like back in the old days, when we played the 49ers, you hit them, in the ribs, and you make them groan a little bit and make them think twice about coming and playing against the. Like I said, I understand the old school mentality, and that's kind of how it was back then. And, at a certain point, Bounty Gate existed and all those different types of things. But we're in a new era of the NFL, man, like where we want longevity for these players. And not only that, we want to see the best product on the field. Like from a fan perspective, from a network perspective, from an organizational perspective, we want to see the best product on the field. And, going about it and trying to win a game through essentially cheating, and not only cheating, but harming someone physically. And again, this is a contact sport. Harm is going to occur naturally. Like, so that's not the issue. It's like going out of your way, like a late hit, driving him into the ground with your shoulder, putting 330 pounds of weight into him, into his chest, into his ribs. Like, come on, man. We can do better than that. I'm not a big fan. I don't like that at all. I'm not a fan of that. I never wish injury on any other players, ever. Never, ever. And I would think a former player would kind of have that same mentality. But like I said, sounds like an old dog. Sounds like a back in my day kind of a guy. So not really surprised by any of that. But, hey, we're going to be on alert for it now. Any cheap hits, any late hits, we're going to be saying, hey, there's a bounty out. I don't know, man. You guys let me know about what you think about what this guy said. To me, it's kind of crazy to go on nationally syndicated airwaves and call for the late hit of an opposing team's quarterback in the hopes that you knock the living crap out of him so much that, one, he could be injured, or you think that Brock Purdy's never been hit hard enough that you think a solid late hit is really going to determine and change the outcome of the game for you. That sounds like a loser mentality to me. But, hey, that's just me. I want to hear from you guys what your thoughts are on this entire situation. Again, to me, it's wild. I can't believe he said that. But it's up for you to decide. Let me know in the public court of appeals what you guys think about this. Let me know. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.